What's up, watchers? Welcome back to XP Guild. Welcome back to our Aftermath campaign. This is session 2, so if you're just joining us now, awesome, great time to start. Things just got going. I'll tell you what happened if you like. Session 1 is on YouTube with minor edits due to operator error screwing up sections of it so that you don't have to sit there listening to absolutely nothing, as I forgot to turn on sound on the spot. But either way, that was all recap during the game so that you caught our lost parts. Anyways, screw it. Here we go. Where we last left off, our players had woken up within their town, burned, destroyed. For whatever reason, they were able to find a way to hide or to survive, and emerged from the rubble and gathered together, finding that everybody in their town has either been killed or taken away, with little else to do here and little left for them to survive on in this kind of remote mining town that they had lived in. They set off in search for the survivors, following the group of goblins that had attacked the village. In particular, Og's family had been captured, which is probably the most tie to everybody else out there. So he's kind of urged everybody else to go help him track down his family, perhaps rescue them from this tribe of goblins. With that, they set off. They head out into the wilderness, into the badlands, and are tracking them down. They managed to come across a group of kind of scouts that were sent out by the main party with 2 goblins and a couple of wolves. They find out that there are 50 or so goblins in the party and about 10 wolves. Then there's prisoners that are in the party. Having befriended one of the wolves for a moment or two before pissing it off and having to kill it. And now we will rejoin our party as they settle down for the evening, having kind of decided that it's gotten too dark for them to travel safely out here at night. They are beginning to prep the camp, and that's where we're going to rejoin our group.
Did anyone bring any food?
No. But then again, I don't eat.
Right. I'm suddenly remembering that I was responsible for bringing the food. Hold on 1 second.
I have a few things. About 6.
I pull out some rations and I go, good. I did actually bring some food. I forgot because of, the casual violence of living outside in the wild. So you don't eat graves. Do you eat?
I have brought at least 12 pounds of food for myself. I mean, I'm willing to share if you need some.
No, I've got everything I need. I pull out my cook's utensils and I take out my herbalism kit and I start making some nice herbs and spices, and I start messing this ration up to actually make something actually decent, doing the thing which I can do, actually cook some food and be useful. And I will make a double-sized helping for Og, knowing that Braids won't be eating, so it works out that we have an even level of rations. And I look at Sunny like, don't worry, Sunny, I know what you like. I got you what you need. It's fine.
Small grin, no words.
So yeah, I'll be busy on the over the fire, using various elements of elementalism to create the embers to make them light up just a little bit, and putting in a little bit of mist so I can actually keep the rations a bit moist and keeping it going, and generally trying to make the camp life a bit more pleasant around us.
All right. So we starting a fire and getting all that going?
Yep.
I'll hop over and
where would you like to
cast
campfire?
dancing.
I'll do this. I'm going to configure ownership to everyone for the campfire. So go ahead and you can set up your camp and kind of figure out where about you guys are settling down.
Okay.
Any other preparations or anything you're looking to do?
I think all battered, bruised, injured, still. It's gonna settle down up against the rock. Kind of use that as like back of a chair kind of idea. Plop his butt down and begin just kind of resting and overall pulling out those various scraps and this, that, and the other, and begin crafting.
Okay.
As he wanted to try to turn, the arrows and the crude sword and all the other stuff that he found off the goblins into at least a working crossbow of some sort. Maybe for, Rami or whoever else that could use a crossbow. So,
Do you let us know what you're doing, or do you just do it silently?
yeah, I do what I normally do, usually, and just go to work,
Yeah, I mean, whereas the rest of them know each other pretty well, like they know who you are. They met you. You're the one of the town blacksmiths along with your parents, but
Yeah.
you're probably not like, as close, I think.
Yeah,
as
and
everyone
I
else would
usually
be.
keep to myself all the time because, I'm always with my family and stuff like that. And, yeah, I'm just that, the guy that you see in town that just goes about his work. You see Og carrying something, building something, it's just like, well, there goes Og. So, and then it usually comes out to be, usually beneficial to the town and stuff like that, or beneficial to whoever the client is, this, that, and the other. So, it's not going to be harmful or detriment to the group or anything like that. But
Sure. I just see you messing around with broken arrows, and I think, he's trying to mend those arrows. So I'm going to cast mending on those arrows for you and go, you're welcome. And then carry on.
I love it. Like, he's partway through things, so like breaking things down, and you mend them, and all of a sudden they're back to full.
Okay. And I just turn my back on you. Carry on.
Thank you, Rami, but I really don't need help.
Oh, no, that's okay.
I mean,
Although,
I'm making. Okay, so you know how the bow and arrow, how big it is and stuff.
I know how
I'm
big a bow.
I'm making it smaller, basically. It's I'm gonna try to make a crossbow.
Are you working on a crossbow, a hand crossbow, a heavy crossbow? What's your?
I don't think I got enough material for a heavy crossbow, but
Okay.
at least because it was a short bow, right? And
and
like a crude short sword or long. It wasn't a long sword, was it?
No, it was like a crude scimitar,
So probably a hand crossbow or a light crossbow. I don't know if the light crossbow would be pushing it or not, but definitely a hand crossbow.
Yeah, I mean, I think whichever one you preferred, you could kind of work up. It's not a short bow to like a regular light crossbows. I don't think that big of a jump. But you could also pare down to make it a hand crossbow. If anyone was, I don't know, the proficiency of the people or what they desire, but yeah, that would work.
Actually, could anybody use a hand crossbow or a light crossbow?
Is it a simple weapon?
Would I know if it's a simple weapon?
You would know. I mean, you would know what it is. I'd have to look it up off the top of my head.
I don't want.
It's not sitting here in front of me. So
I think it is a simple weapon. I can't remember.
Okay, so a light crossbow is a simple ranged weapon. Yes.
Yeah, it's
yes.
Okay, so I'll attempt to turn it into a light. And I was thinking, since y'all two are small and whatnot, y'all could ride on the back of one of us and use the crossbow. Ranged possibilities.
Yeah, that's.
I was also going to
That's
make
fine.
kind of a harness too, that way you wouldn't fall off as we're running.
Yes, I did feel at some points that I didn't want to say anything, because you were being very kind and giving me a ride, but a saddle would be most big.
I don't know about a saddle, that would be awkward, but maybe a harness, like it'd be like you sit in it instead of you sit on top of it.
Oh. So less like a lady and more like a baby?
I mean, look at it as kind of like a swing.
I'm not touching that joke.
It sounds like it would be very helpful. Thank you.
I mean, because they were throwing all kinds of shit at us, so it's kind of bad if you got hit by a spear and then fell off my back.
I mean, getting hit by the spear would be worse than falling off your back.
I mean, true
I feel
that,
like
but
that is true.
What if we were on a cliff's edge, and you got hit by the spear and you fell off my back? And there was no ground underneath.
You still got hit by a spear.
Yeah.
If we can avoid the getting hit by the spear part, that would be significantly better.
Agreed. Right. Yes. We're all on anti-spear duty. Okay? Let's avoid being hit. Me certainly. You two may enjoy it. I don't know. But for myself, no to the spear.
I mean, I get cut and bruised and whatnot in the blacksmith shop, and yeah, it sucked, but yeah, that arrow hurt bad.
You turn, you just see Sunny in the background writing a little list saying, "Don't get hit by arrows. No spears." Just really listening intently. This is a lesson on the outside world he didn't think he was going to get today.
I mean, that's a thing too, right? Like, I don't think any of you have really seen any significant combat in your life before. Definitely not Sunru, and Braid's generally designed as a gardener. Rami was a kept woman for a while.
But to be fair, Braids was designed as a gardener for wizards.
Yes.
So they do have a little bit more training than you would expect.
Yeah, for sure. I'm sure you were trained, but the amount of actual combat you've run into,
is
I
what
was
we've
not
seen.
a kept woman. Thank you very much. I was a matron of the house. I was in charge of the domiciliary duties. Thank you very much. Kept woman implies I just lay on the sofa and ate grapes all day. Sir?
In charge of the...
I'm sorry, I was talking to your ex earlier, that's all. I had the wrong idea.
Shopping.
In charge of the domiciliary duties. Here's your gardener and your assistant.
Delegation is important, okay? And someone has to look at the budget, and someone has to think about who's going to do what. Braids, if you were left alone in the garden, you would have made sure each individual flower was given the best amount of attention. But the problem with that is that all the others would have died in the meantime.
All right, so as Og starts working on making the crossbow, Rami sounded like she was putting together the food for everyone tonight. Sunru was taking notes, but is there anything else like Braids and Sunru that you were desiring to do or partake in while the kind of camp gets set up?
Honestly, Braids just kind of like settles down into a spot where they don't really move from, but they're spending the whole time like paying attention to not really the encampment or group of people around them, but the nature around them, and just like more focused on like trying to figure out what that's like, because like you said, they've been in a garden for most of their life.
Can you give me a nature roll?
Yeah.
Let's start stretching these muscles. I guess I should open up something.
That's an 11.
11. All right. Generally like the plant life that grows in this area. A constant struggle for you, in fact, is the wizard wanted all these exotic things to be able to grow, and thus some of your druidic nature was able to help with that. But out here, it's like these ugly little shrubs and cacti and things like that. Nothing of significant note that you can kind of put your fingers on with that roll in the area, but you're taking in the outside world outside of the manicured gardens and the that sort of a thing that you've been used to in your places. Sunro, anything?
Yeah, I think after obviously the conversation sort of dies down and everyone goes to their own things, I think I might just pop to the side and pull out my master's tome book, just looking over it and even open a couple pages. Not even to read, just to look at the familiar handwriting. To like, he is still alive, he is still out there somewhere. I'll cast dancing lights above my head, and then I'll send one above Og's head as well, seeing that he's concentrating on something. And and then I'll just focus on the book. Just relax.
All right. Sounds good. You guys get the fire going. You get a decent meal put together with Rami's abilities to like spice up rations and things like that to make it a little bit more edible than the traditional trail ration would be. And then so it gets dark, it gets late. Is there a plan for the evening? Watches are there? I mean, I know we kind of have a perpetual watch with Braids, but is there a rotation, or is it just Braids kind of staying on watch mode?
To be honest, that idea doesn't even pop into Sonny's mind because this is so new to him that he just curls up and goes to sleep.
Perfect. Makes sense.
I think Og is so focused on his work that he doesn't recognize that aspect,
Okay.
Watch, I mean, what do I need to watch for?
Eventually, this floating bubble of light will flip out as Sunny falls asleep enough to like lose concentration on it. And you'll have the fire still there. However, this is the middle of like the desert, so the amount of wood that you guys have access to is probably pretty limited. So it's not like this roaring bonfire. It's a smaller one that was big enough to cook a little bit and get you some warmth. But
so as I see that happening, I use one of my special abilities and look around, and I guess I'll grab maybe a coin or something. Maybe did we looted the bodies, right?
Yeah, someone found a few coins. There's a handful of silver and copper.
I'll take a copper piece because I've got at least 5 copper pieces. And I use this, it's called magical tinkering that I have. Imbue a tiny non-magical object with magical properties of your choice. And the property I'd like to use is 5-foot radius light.
Yeah. Yeah, so you make this coin kind of light up almost like a candle. 5 feet isn't massive, but gives you just enough that you can kind of see that the area directly around you, so you can continue working for a little bit. Until I eventually get tired, I think. Okay.
It's when I will stop, because I'm also still injured. I mean, I'm down, I got 11 hit points and I'm down to 6. So
I mean, and I would say it probably wouldn't be super long. You guys woke up in a rubble village. You burned your fellow villagers so like the carrion birds aren't feasting on them. Then you chased after a group of goblins all day, and then fought, got hurt, and now you just kind of so I think there'd be a point where any of the adrenaline from those fights rushes out of you, and you probably just end up passing out like with your work there, this little candle looking light next to you.
Yeah, and probably on that borderline of like, if I don't stop, I'm gonna get levels of exhaustion. So yeah. So I just pass out where I'm at.
Rami, what was your evening after making some food for everyone? Was there anything you were focusing on or wanted to accomplish, or the crackling of the fire is so loud that it's tough to hear Rami's thoughts?
Yes. I think when the meal is done, she's going to wash everything out, all the dishes and all the pots and pans, make sure everything is nice and clean, which would take a long time if she didn't have mending, prestidigitation, and elementalism to pretty much do everything for her. But in her eyes, she's doing it. It's definitely manual labor that's making this happen. She's gonna lie down and try to get to sleep, try to be comfortable. It's cold and she feels a little bit alone. So she reaches in her pocket, and as she reaches in, she finds a book that she doesn't really remember packing, but this book always seems to show up at least once a day. It doesn't matter where she is, this book just shows up. This tiny, tattered black book with like writing in it and whatnot. And she likes to read some of the stories which are there. And the stories that she finds, she always seems to find a new book in there every so often. A new story inside this book. And this particular story that she's reading about is about a small, sleek, white marmot, like a weasel almost, that is just exploring through the woods and trying to find somewhere warm for the night. And she's like, this is a good story. And as she falls asleep, it takes her about an hour and 10 minutes to read through the whole story. And by the time that she finishes it, she feels something warm slide in next to her. And she looks down and she sees a white marmot. And she goes, oh, just like the story. Nice. And this is the genie, who is the name of the marmot in the story, so she calls it Genie. And she falls asleep with this thing wrapping around her neck, keeping her nice and warm like a snood, as she falls asleep with that on her. Yeah.
All right. Sounds good. Would someone roll me a D20?
Dawson, it's gotta be.
This is the worst idea.
That's why it's the best idea.
Yeah.
13.
We rolled a 13 out the gate.
Well done. Well done. And then
4 tenths.
I also need a D6.
That's an unfortunate ask. That means something bad happened.
Nothing bad.
Yeah, now there's a quantity involved. And
That's
there's so many. There's so
That's
many.
a 6.
Okay, that's a 6. Perfecto. Let's see.
Far too many.
As always, just assume the worst.
Yes.
Probably for good reasoning. Okay. All right. Dawson, what is Braid's passive perception?
14.
Okay. So you will spot as you're kind of there in this passive shutdown mode sort of thing where you're just kind of there. You'll see flying in the night, so it's probably like passes by the sun or like the moon or something, this like swarm of flying creatures of some sort, these tiny little things that come and they start swirling around, and first you notice them. It looks like they're fixated on the corpses of these goblin bodies and these wolf bodies that were left nearby your camp. And as it goes, it will then spot you guys and start heading towards the campfire and those sleeping there. We're going to go ahead and just roll initiative here. Currently, Braids is awake, so he's the only one who will be ready to start with. Oh, wait. So I need to reset that. So we've got... initiative. We got Sunny. That's a good roll. To roll this.
Wow, I was like, there's no way someone's going to roll worse than me. And Og's like, hold my beer.
I wasted my good roll on initiative.
Well, I'm glad you get to go first at least.
Okay.
All
soon as-
gets out like a light.
So is yours 13, Dawson?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it came in as a custom roll, so
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Sorry.
To the
It's all
point
good.
to the point that you hear Og snoring.
So Braids, you will get to act before this swarm of creatures do. So you are up first in this.
Okay. That should be about 30 feet of movement if I walk around people, because I wouldn't want to walk over them. Now, this is a swarm of small flying things.
Yes.
I think what we will do is we will just cast Thorn Whip and like make an attack, with the assumption that if I attack them, they will not think that we are just an easy prey, and they'll go back to feeding on the very simple thing that they were after before.
Okay. Yeah. And as you kind of get close, they almost look like little bats, but they have like a couple extra like legs to them. They're very furry, have these like sharp teeth, this like rat-like tail that's sticking out from the back of them. Go ahead and make your attack roll.
23.
Yeah, that will hit for sure. Okay.
They take 3 damage.
Alrighty. 3 damage. Are you using? I think you can pull them closer. Is that?
I will not do that now.
Okay. You're like no. Okay. Cool. Yeah, you snap the whip and probably get like one of these out of the air, and it falls to the ground, dying. Are you doing anything else? Are you like arousing the party? Or are you hoping that you can?
I'm hoping I'll chase it off.
Okay. Let's see. I think if everyone else on their initiative turn, so now it would be, so let's see, Sunny, you would have gone first. So if you give me a roll, like a perception roll, I think, just to see if like something rouses you. Yours is probably going to be a higher DC because nothing had happened. Okay.
14.
All right. I'd say not yet because Braids hadn't made any attacks or anything, so there's nothing to alert you. Promise
good.
you can roll and your DC will be lower because Braids has already made an attack.
Hey, Romy.
Yeah. Romy. So I'm looking at your character on the tracker. No. Okay. Still deep asleep, warm underneath your marmot, as this swarm comes diving in.
Now it's
going
my
to-
turn on the donkey.
Dive down.
Oh.
I'm going to change the scale on this because they can occupy a space, but I want it so we can still see what's going on. All right, so this is going to dive down. Matter there. So they're going to attempt to attack. So 18 Braids.
That will hit.
Okay, this is gonna hurt. Sorry, this guy's
Yeah.
hurt.
It is what it is.
8 points of slashing damage.
Okay, I'm unconscious.
Okay. With that, I think Og, you will hear Braids fall, and we'll start to rouse here. You were still kind of out of it, but you at least now will be able to act on the next round of actions. Sunny, again, like the kind of surprise round of things is over. You would probably hear Braids fall and then be able to react, kind of get up and make an action.
Hearing the noise, I'll wake and instantly jump 10 feet into the air and onto the top of this in fear, and then look and see what's going on.
Yeah.
And I'll probably shout to make sure everybody else is waking up.
Okay.
And fuck. All I've got is firebolt. So I guess I'll nervously aim firebolt and try and hit some part of the swarm for a 11.
Sadly, 11 will miss. It kind of flies in, and they kind of swarm out, like, and make an opening, and the fireball like flies through, and then they kind of regather back above Braids. If you can give me a death save, you don't need to tell me success or fail, as long as you're doing it on D&D Beyond. I will know, and your party will not. Mwahaha.
That's right.
Yeah, just I figure, keep this interesting. Romy,
I love it.
you awake. You heard Sunny's call. You faintly had heard the fall of Braids, and now you awake with this marmot.
Yeah, okay. Waking with a start in an alarming situation. I was having a dream about falling out of a window, and I wake up with a start as I jump to my feet, which is a whole 2 extra feet, and I just fire off.
But yet, rules means it takes 15 of your feet away.
Yeah, it is one of those. Isn't that a kick in the face? Yeah, so she jumps up and will just be like, and something will come out of her hands again. And that's not good for her starting day, as she fires off an Eldritch Blast at this thing that's just above Braids. Now, can I get the help action from my familiar?
Yeah, you could have your marmot kind of go and distract this.
I was thinking more like it guided my hands.
Oh, it guides your hands. Sure, why not?
It's almost like this mom is like, no, over this way a little bit. Just there you go. They're over that way, dear. So yeah, I will take an advantage if you're fine with that, GM.
At this point, yes, I'll allow it for now.
13?
We'll just hit, yeah.
That is 6 points of force damage launched at these creatures.
6
as I see these hands coming out from inside the swarm, just crushing these bugs as it makes its way out from the center.
Perfect. Cool. Yeah,
I think I might move back a little bit at that point.
Probably not a bad idea.
Let me go my 10 feet that I can go. Genie, stay with me.
I think it's gonna move on from Braids, finding the mechanical nature of it. 10, 15. But it will fly over to you and attempt to make an attack on you, Romy. I'm gonna assume a 24 hits.
I mean, of course it is.
And that is 10 points of damage.
Down I go.
Yikes. Sorry, guys. Og.
He pulls the sleep out of his eyes and suddenly looks as he sees Rami fall, and he's like, no! And he feels the anger swell up in him again, and immediately just outright unleashes another firebolt.
Alright. Roll it.
12 hit?
We'll just miss.
Oh.
You need the 13 to hit.
13. Okay. And with that, shit.
Sunny. Are you moving anywhere, Og?
No, I think I'll stay there for the moment. See the Rommies fall on the ground, and a split sense of seriousness pops over my face as I cast Firebolt again. For a 12, fuck's sake.
Jesus.
So it twinkled over the 20 and then went on to a 6. Oh, fuck's sake.
Don't take the time to write a backstory for a character at level 1. Don't bother.
Don't do it. Don't do it. I gotta get
I will
all
then
the
take 5 feet back.
I gotta get all the scare you guys now moments before you're too powerful for me to drop you. Forget how much level 1's like. Just breathe on them and they fall.
Did I get bitten by a bug? Yep, that's how I died. Carry on.
Oh dear. Braids will be another death save. Alright. Speaking of death saves, Romy.
Now, before I roll this, I want to create this bad juju. How funny would it be if I rolled a nat 1 right now?
Oh, God. Only you tempt fate like that. You say that, you'll probably roll a 20.
It's a nat 1!
Oh my God.
Oh.
No way, roll a 1.
Wow.
That's the best one!
Wow.
Alright. You're gonna fly on.
Watchers.
Yeah.
So,
Come join our party.
We rewind this tragic ending back to the town as you see another set of adventures take off.
Romy's second cousin, Gobi.
They were hiding in a root cellar? That's why you didn't see him before.
I mean, the bonus is they were all made by wizards, so they have like essentially like a clone already set up for each of them.
Game 2 is just live character creation. Got it.
Yeah. Og, this swarm comes at you. 17. Will that hit you?
Misses by 1.
right.
Thank God.
What's that like?
I know, right?
Speaking of Og, it's your turn. So next time we're gonna have to have veto power on words, names, because I see Og, I just want to say OG. Like I'm like,
Every
we got
time.
the original gangster over here. It's his turn.
Yeah.
You wish.
I tried to put a syllable in there, but it came out weird. So yeah.
That's fine.
Okay, is it my turn?
Yeah, it's your turn. There.
It's my turn.
Currently,
So
you're swarmed by this.
They are swarmed me. Okay. I don't want to take a disadvantage by doing that. So,
Jump in the fire.
well, I mean, I could do that, but it'd be disadvantage, right?
Just
okay.
messing. Don't jump in the fire. Don't leave me alone.
Oh, jump in the fire. Well, I'm like not necessarily immune, but yeah. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna start swinging. I guess with my longsword. I mean, that's the only thing I think of.
Yeah, no problem.
Because I don't want to roll disadvantage with my firebolt. Actually, I'm gonna use my spear because my spear will reach up higher with some of the higher ones. And stuff
They're
like
on
that.
you, so whatever you feel like. I mean, I would say go with the biggest damage dealer.
Yeah, which well, yeah, that's true. Okay, I get but I get a +6 to hit with my spear there.
Okay, then roll with the spear.
And I can do a D8, so okay. 9.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It almost rolled a 16 and it flipped over to a 3.
Wow.
Yeah.
OG stands for almost got him.
I know, right? Right? Oh my God. I don't have anything for Bonus action. Oh, I got 2 weapon fighting for bonus. So, so yeah. So I did it with my spear. So I'm gonna try to wait.
It'll be like a light weapon, I think.
Is it white, light or versatile?
I think it just has to be a light weapon.
Damn it. Okay, never mind.
Although, is this spear's not a light weapon, is it?
No, well, it's a simple thrown versatile weapon. I've got all versatile weapons. That's why I was wanting to know.
You had like a dagger or like a.
Not on me. I mean, I got my
hand
fist.
axe, or
I got my,
you could throw with your fist.
I can throw with
I'll
my
let
fist.
you.
Yeah.
I'll let you. Trying to not kill you guys with this
I
first
know,
random encounter of the
So
session. We literally rolled the hardest one I had prepped.
I mean, that's why we don't ask me to roll these things.
I get a +6, so please roll above what an 8.
So
Yes, 17. So for 23,
That'll
I
hit.
do, because I am a Goliath and whatnot, and my strength is pretty high. I do 5 points of unarmed strike.
Okay.
damage. And I think I get a thingy.
one attack, hit him with it.
I get a, where is it? Damn, when you make an attack roll against a creature, on a hit you deal, okay, no, okay, so it's bludgeoning damage.
Okay. No stress.
I'm not gonna try to grapple or shove them. So,
No, probably good. Probably good. Sunny, you'll be up. Then followed by Braids and Romy.
Okay, seeing Romy go down, I kind of panic and I'll make a beeline. So I'll 10 feet and slide 5 if that's cool.
Sure. Yeah, that's fine.
Get to the and just use my action to try and stabilize her. Make sure
Okay.
she is there.
All right. That is a medicine
Die
check.
by kangaroo. Here we go.
You want a medicine check?
That's technically the rules, I think, is to stabilize.
I got a 4.
that's you.
You know, medicine was never your thing, but you try. You put your hands on some of the cuts, and you see there's more places bleeding. Braids, we got a death save for you and death save for Romy. Okay.
Oh God.
Yeah, no, I was like, yours is a straight fitty.
Yeah. Did you make it, Braids?
I'm not saying.
You're not supposed to tell. You're not supposed to tell.
Oh. Okay. Well then, I'm fine, guys. Don't even worry about
Don't
it.
worry about it. Yeah, don't worry about it. I mean, I didn't see it pop up.
I think that tells us what happened.
Oh, son of a bitch. Well, on session 2, I killed a character. He brought it on himself. You did never call out the nat one.
That's awesome. Holy crap.
Holy shit balls. Alright.
Just awesome.
Sunny's probably the only one that notices kind of the life fade
Yeah.
out of Romy's eyes.
Braid certainly doesn't. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, Braid certainly doesn't. 12 to hit you, Og.
12 to
I
hit
think
me misses.
This is your turn.
I am outright swinging again. Damn it. Almost a 20, but a 14 though.
14 will hit. 14 will hit.
Doing 7 points of damage. And can I still use my unarmed strike? Or my 2-weapon fighting?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, I might
17.
get more strict later. But,
No, that's fine. That's fine.
Uh,
I mean, I'm right now I'm flailing about trying to kill these things, you know. I don't even see my party. I'm kind of pseudo raging, but not officially raging. So I rolled a 17 for unarmed strike. I do 5 points of damage.
okay. They're looking very rough.
Probably few of them now.
Yes, there's only a couple of them. The swarm seems to have dissipated a little bit, and they are like you can tell like because there's less of them scratching at you, like the little nicks that they're doing aren't hurting as bad.
Yeah, and I'm pretty much, I mean, I'm to the point of yelling at them, to get away from us, go, get on out of here, get.
Yeah.
So on and so forth.
Sonny, you kind of sense the life force drain from Romy there in front of you as you're trying to like save him. What would you like to do?
Well, kind of shocked what's happening. I'll realize there's not many of us left and see if I can get to braids, I guess. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and would it be a medicine check to do the same thing, or would it be something else?
It's a medicine check to try to stabilize. It's
a 21.
All right, you stabilize braids. You feel that, like, you patch up the spots. The circuitry, perhaps, on braids is more familiar to you, as you have, been around helping the wizard, like, create creatures like him.
It's a magical thing.
Yeah. So braids, you are now stabilized. 0 hit points, but you no longer slip deeper into the abyss.
Shucks.
Like, I was really ready to play the other character here. The swarm, having been, I think, dissipated to almost death, is going to realize that it needs to survive, and it's going to disengage and start flying away. 15. Yeah, it's going to make it. It gets a 60-foot move speed, so it's going to kind of fly off and dip below the nearest outcropping of rocks and kind of fly off in the distance.
I can't see anymore, can I, as they go away?
They'll get far enough that you won't be able to like make a ranged attack on them. Because of the rocky outcropping of this badlands, they kind of fly up and over this large rock and dip down. So there's no visual unless you have something that can target something within 60 feet without visual.
No, not right offhand. No.
Okay, I know there's some spells out there.
I got the only spell that I would actually use is Firebolt. So
yeah. So it dips down, and you guys find yourself in this clearing. There is currently braids is down, but stabilized. You kind of see the sparking from the various elements of his body is kind of subsided now, and he's just kind of there in this like out state for the moment. But Romy is lying there lifeless. The marmot kind of like clinging to her and kind of like pressing on her, like almost like a wake up sort of thing.
I think Og coming out of whatever he came out of. Everyone okay? Looks over.
Braid won't wake up. Romy, and then just tears start falling down from my eyes.
What?
Romy won't move.
I'm gonna run over to Romy. Kneel down. Try to use medicine.
Yeah. Roll medicine.
7.
She's not breathing. You're not really sure. I mean, you're really good with machines.
Yeah.
You might have known braids better than Romy, but doesn't look good. Just cuts and nicks all over her body from the bites and scratches of these little skitterlings that were all over you guys. Meanwhile, Romy. Of course, the moment I have an air blower out here. Romy, you find yourself in a paradise. An oasis in the middle of a desert, grown up with large trees, like little pond in the middle of this oasis with like a babbling brook that kind of runs from one area, just like almost appears out of the sand, runs like a small little babbling brook over small rocks, goes into the little pond, and then a babbling brook that runs down and disappears back into the sand at a distance. You're standing in these bushes, and I think at this point we're going to take a short break. One, because there's an air blower outside the house and it's driving me crazy. Two, because it's about that time and it's a good cliffhanger spot. So we'll come back. 15 minutes, Dave. We have that thing set up. So we'll be back in 15 minutes. Thank you, watchers, for joining us. Thanks for the subs on Twitch. You can also watch us live on YouTube. The VOD is always on YouTube. So if you're interested, they're recorded live and saved there on YouTube. And you can catch up if you missed anything. We'll come back. We'll find out what happens with our first death of this campaign, right on schedule with session 2. Well, welcome back, watchers. Thanks for rejoining us here. Session 2 of Aftermath. This is the second half, essentially, of this session. When last we left off, the party was attacked by a group of flying skitterlings that had left 2 of their party down. Braids left unconscious but alive, having been stabilized, and sadly, Romy lies lifeless upon the hard, cracked earth of this desert land that we see. The party is kind of regrouping themselves, trying to figure that out. But we, the watchers, get to join Romy as she kind of wakes up in this like oasis desert paradise. This area with lush green trees growing around this pond in the middle of like a desert land. A little babbling brook that runs in and out of this, disappearing and appearing from the desert. And that is where we will rejoin this session here. Romy, you kind of come to here in this kind of desert oasis, waking up a little, probably out of sorts.
This is just beautiful. What happened? Sunny? Braids? Oh.
So you kind of like look around and gather up your surroundings. You see that there's like a little pathway that leads like through this oasis area, and you hear this like faint sound of like harp music or something coming from within an area of dense foliage down this path further, closer to the pond itself.
I will go towards that, curious, pushing the small vegetative fronds out of the way to make the path that much easier for my short stature. My feet don't feel that hot. In fact, I'm not sweating. That's... Where am I?
As you kind of like push your way in, you see there's like a little clearing here. It's got a good view of the pond. There is like this chaise lounge that's been kind of like formed from a tree, and there's like moss that has grown deep as like the cushion of the area of this like tree, that the branch kind of makes that curve and goes up. But then there's like the tall like branches of the tree up above it, providing extra shade. There's the moss has grown thick, and lying upon it is a kind of violet-skinned man who appears to be pretty much all naked, except for like a palm frond essentially laying over his private parts, as he's like lounging there on this lounge, kind of like looking out towards the pond, and his eyes sort of shift to you, these golden eyes kind of gleaming with like intensity, this perception. Almost feels like he's peering into your very soul as he looks over at you. He's got these long, pointy ears, and this coming from his head, which is like this pale green hair that forms most of it, and out of it comes this like almost like an antler array made of branches that kind of form from his skin and grow out and back over his head. He kind of like looks over at you. You spot behind him there are a group of apes, like chimpanzee-sized creatures with like palm fronds that are like fanning him, and one is like standing there holding a bowl of grapes, and he kind of like reaches over absently and plucks a grape or two out and pops it in his mouth and looks over at you. Romy.
Oh my goodness.
Please join
I'm so
us.
sorry. I didn't... Wait, you know my name?
I know much about you.
You have me at a
Please.
disadvantage, sir.
Yes. Often is the way. You may call me Rhinuth. Orion.
Right.
It's probably easier. Yes.
It is a pleasure to meet you, Ryan.
Yes. I have invested in you already. If you hadn't noticed, you have little abilities forming here and there. I hate to see an investment go to complete waste. So I have a deal.
Okay.
Are you ready to be done? Are you ready to call it a day, to go to your eternal resting place and not worry about the toils of the road? Or would you like to get back at it and help your friends? To do more? To be more?
Wait, done? What do you mean, done?
Oh, my dear, you are quite dead.
What?
Yes. I mean, those little flying creatures got you. Your friends are probably mourning you at the moment, although what passes here is but mere breaths back there.
I died?
Mm.
I'm not meant to die.
No, you weren't. I put some effort into your formation. I was hoping that it would remain.
She's gonna sit down, feeling a little bit faint for a second. I died. I suppose I could just let that happen.
You could.
But that doesn't really seem fair.
It's awful. You're just beginning to live.
Yes, exactly. I felt in the last day more happy than I had felt for many, many years. I don't know how to tell you this. I'm a divorcee. My husband left me. He found someone else. Well, I'm
younger
sure
woman, I'm sure.
Yes, that was his reason.
Yeah.
He had his reasons. It was someone better.
Well, she does the weird things, I'm sure, but here you are, now ready to live, actually living, stretching your proverbial wings. I'd like to see
But I'm
that
dead.
continue. Yes.
You can.
Oh, I can do so many things.
Oh. Are you a god?
No. Some people think I am. That's very tedious. I don't know. A lot of work to be a god. People worship you. You kind of got to live up to expectations. It's really not what it's all made out to be.
Right. Yes, I've never really been one for church. I've always found it a little too much.
Yes. So, ready to get back at it. To hit the road and help your friends survive and make it to whatever inevitable destination they're rushing towards.
Do you do that for me? That's so kind. Thank you so much.
Well, of course, as most things are, there's a tit for tat sort of thing. I give you life.
Well, I don't know if
do
I'm
something for me.
that kind of girl. I don't really know if
Nothing untoward. I'm not looking for a younger woman. I'm looking for a thing. And perhaps some favors along the way.
a thing.
Mm-hmm. First, someone in my services always comes in handy. Sometimes I will have things that I might need done, and perhaps you're in a position to do it. One of which, the thing that presses me to offer you some sort of reprieve from eternal demise, is an item. You could fetch it for me, perform some actions here and there for me, and in exchange, you continue on. As if nothing ever happened.
And no one will get hurt?
What you have to do to obtain the thing, I have not ascertained yet. I'm not omniscient. But gather the item, bring it to an agent of my suggestion. Who knows? If you're powerful enough, maybe you can perform what I need done with that. But that is what I'm looking at the moment.
I won't hurt my friends.
That is not my intent. I am not a malicious being. I do not look for people to be hurt in my service or in my name.
I get that. You seem like you're quite a kind person.
I can be. But I do believe in the deals, in the contracts of things. So you can.
Do I.
I can have you sign if that makes it easier. An actual written document that you sign, or you can give me your word that you will be in my service, that you will perform the actions I send to you, of which the first and probably the most important is the gathering of an item that I was looking for. One that I believe was in the possession of your former husband.
She looks up at that. I think that's the first time that she's going to stare this guy in the eyes. And you see a small, then larger smile go across her face. Grin. Rhyme. You got yourself a deal.
Perfect. There will be a rod amongst the effects. I do not believe it any longer but remains in his possession. I believe it was taken, amongst other things, by the goblins you now search. Find this rod for me. You have promised this. I will take your word. I believe you're a woman of your word. Perform these actions, and I will grant you the power to make it happen. The power to live your life how you like. Spread your wings and fly. And he kind of reaches out his long arm towards you.
I reach out my short hand, and I reach up high, and I grasp my tiny little hand in his, and I shake it.
He smiles and shakes his hand, and you feel this kind of energy, almost this rush of energy come through you, and then all goes white for you. Meanwhile, back at the camp, you guys are kind of here in this aftermath. You're sitting there, not fully gathering what is going on. Sunru, you feel almost like a tingling, whether it's an inspiration or a thought or something. You remember having grabbed some papers from your master, or him having given you something that at this moment seems to be perhaps the right thing that you need for this moment.
I have an epiphany and reach into my pouch and start pulling stuff out. An abacus comes out, master's tome comes out. As I'm getting something else out, a loose paper, a page from the tome flutters out and seems...
Now, written on this paper, this at one point, like a scroll that had been formed up, was a spell that as you look over it, your kind of trained mind for this sort of thing recognizes a revivify scroll laying there amongst this other detritus that you had pulled out.
I kind of see the scroll, but I look around to see if anybody else sees me with this scroll, and seeing the Oggs manning over braids. And is this Marmaduke still here?
Yeah, this little marmot.
Marmite,
is,
sorry. What am I saying for? That's a name.
Marmaduke is like a dog from cartoon.
Yeah, that's it.
Marmite, as in the food.
No. Love it or hate it. What's his name?
Genie.
Genie. Yeah.
Is Genie still present? Then I guess the only things eyes I meet is Genies.
Mm-hmm.
And not getting a look of disprovement or a look of desperation, I place the scroll on top of Remy and start what I think following the instructions to cast.
Okay. Given that points were spent to make this happen and a deal was struck, you're able to cast this spell. The paper set upon Romy's lifeless body, and you start incanting it, almost like all the training, all these things kind of take over, and you just find yourself falling into the rhythmic pattern of casting this scroll. Not really ever having done such things before, but you had seen your master do things like this in the past, and you're able to kind of go into this rhythmic chant. And as you kind of complete the lines, the paper kind of burns up. And instead of like ashes, each bit turns in like a little bit of like a spark or essence, then starts swirling around Romy's body, going around her, dipping underneath her, like disappearing in the earth, coming out, and all this kind of very chaotic random patterns until finally the last bit breaks off. They all swirl around and kind of form back up together above her and slam into her body. And life once more rushes into Romy.
It worked. I don't know how, I don't know why. It worked. And I will just lean over and give you a giant hug of relief.
Hey. It's okay. It's okay. Don't worry. I'm here.
Og, seeing this, hearing this, runs over as well and immediately grabs Rami and picks her up for a big hug.
Deadly.
Lose 1 point, go back to no.
Then sets Rami down.
10 points of damage.
It's almost that. The D6 from...
That's why they call it a spare rib, I guess.
Immediately hands Robbie one of the water skins.
she drinks it, and she feels a little bit disappointed at the flavor. She's just come from a place of oversaturation, and it seems like an almost basic flavor.
I couldn't do anything. I couldn't repair you. I couldn't fix you.
No, it's fine. Don't beat yourself up over it. It's really not anyone's fault. And look, I'm fine. No harm, no foul. Braids, is he okay?
He's stabilized. We have him. He needs to rest and recuperate. But yes,
Can you fix him like you fixed the arrows?
I am tired. I cannot at this moment.
Oh, sorry. I was talking to Romy.
Can Rami even do anything? He died.
Yes, I got my healing kits. And I'm going to do I don't need to do a medicine check to stabilize him, but I'll try and do something more with it, see if I can actually get him to get up off the back of it.
Okay.
That's a nat 20.
Yeah, I'd say with like a nat 20, you're able to like find the wires that are like out of position, find like the spots that were damaged, and between like a mixture of this like almost magical herbs and salves that you use that like go into his actual like skin, along with like perhaps a little bit of your mending spark going off here and there. Braids, you will kind of regain your consciousness with 1 hit point as Romy is able to, administer to you enough that you kind of regain your sense of function.
Romy's going to lean in close to Braids and just whisper in his ear before anything else, saying, "Did you make a deal too?"
Deal?
Hey, you're here. Good, Braids. It's good to see you.
Braids like sits up and looks around and sees what is now the wreckage of the camp as after everything, and like the pool, the like blood that was around where Romy was laying after being lacerated to death, and like what happened?
We lost, I think.
No, we survived is what happened.
So where'd all the blood come from?
Rami died.
But that's not how that works.
I mean, it didn't stick.
Sunru did something magical. What'd you do, Sunru?
I remembered. I don't know why, but my master, he used. I carry things, and the master had one of his scrolls. It just happened to be the right thing I needed. I don't even remember him giving it to me though, but I knew it was that.
Wait. So Rami died.
Yeah.
And it's my fault.
People sure are placing a lot of blame on themselves today, aren't they?
Yeah.
I saw them coming.
The bat, bug thingies.
Yes.
But you fell. You tried to save us.
I tried to scare them away. But I could have done more.
What could you have done different?
Woken someone?
So next time that happens, what are you going to do?
I mean, yes. But...
Do we see the goblin corpses and stuff like that from this area?
Yeah, they're still there. You had killed 2 wolves. They're pretty close by to where you're camping now, and there's 2 goblin bodies further out.
Maybe
I'm gonna
the
go
lesson should be that we don't sleep next to dead bodies.
That is a good lesson.
All of this is a lesson.
I tell you, you guys stay here. I'll go over and I'll bury the goblin bodies. You take care of the wolf bodies, okay? And without waiting, is going to head over to the goblin bodies. Okay, they're just here. They're just here. Just going to find a rod, and then I'm out. This is easy. This is easy.
You sure Rami's okay, Sunru?
No.
Because if I died, I would definitely not be doing what she's doing.
Braids kind of looks over at Sunru and real, like, it's hard to see, but they have that, like, their expression's very hard to read, but there's definitely, like, a quizzical tilt to their head as they're like, why would they have to make a deal if magic brought her back?
You saying this out loud?
Yeah.
What deal?
Romy asked me if I made a deal too.
I don't understand.
Me neither. What scroll was it?
I go over my memory, and I believe it was a revivifier, but I've never been able to cast it before. I've never even tried to cast it before.
Is there like an arcane check we can do on the knowledge that that's the spell, Bill?
Sure, yeah.
And
Definitely arcane makes sense, arcana.
I would actually like to roll religion, being inquisitive and asking questions all the time, stuff like that.
I will, from memory, start drawing some of the glyphs in the ground to if I can try and help them both in their roles.
Yeah.
Like, I think it was Revivify. The glyph went like this, and then I'll draw basic symbol of the glyph.
So my focus is not so much on the spell itself, but it's just this whole deal making thing. It's, you know, like gods and deities and, you know, higher beings, so on and so forth. And I rolled a 17.
Okay.
On my religion.
Braids, it's not a bad roll, but if you want to roll again and see to get better with Sunru's help, like with having the glyphs and stuff.
That is not
drawn.
better, no.
Okay.
Definitely
not.
Wait, before you do, give advantage to a player within chat for once in their entire life.
Had it.
I already had
use
advantage.
that? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it wasn't used, but that was his advantage because Sunny
okay.
was giving him help.
Okay.
So unless you want to take it for your religion, although that's not a bad roll.
No, I rolled a 17. I'm not going to take that from
okay.
another
Fair
player.
enough. All right. So Braids, with a 15 on your Arcana roll, yeah, it should have been a little bit harder for Sunny to cast, especially since he doesn't have a lot of like skill yet with that sort of thing. Plus, it's not even something that, I mean, I guess you wouldn't know that he's like a wizard, but it's not something that he would have learned from his master. So it seems like an odd one, but he was able to cast it without, problems or mishaps, which sometimes could have destroyed a scroll. So it does seem a little weird that he was able to manage to do it so easily.
Yeah. Braids is kind of dumb, so they're just going to assume that that's because the wizard set up the scroll,
Yeah, that's totally possible.
And then the goal with the Arcana check was more to see, like, what the functionality of the spell, right? Like, the making a deal part is what's confusing, right? That's the focus.
Yeah, I mean, you would kind of know that such spells are supposed to just bring someone back. There's not really like an aspect of deal making to make that happen. You also probably know that as someone dies, even if like magically they're able to be brought back, it will eventually get harder to do so.
Mm-hmm.
So it's something also that would be in the back of your mind that Romy has already been brought back from the dead once. And I think what we'll do is in the future is mechanically we'll do some sort of roll system to see whether they're able to come back again, whether there's a spell or not. Because we're going Western kind of 1800s. This is going to be a little bit more. If things happen, they happen. We'll see how bad it gets.
Yeah.
Og, 17 on religion. Deal making has, of course, been in religious aspects, for all of time. Any Sunday sermons or whatever you're going to from the local temples, they definitely talk about both good and bad deals. Like there are, celestial beings that are good that would offer deals, and they basically say these are ones you can embrace, but then also warn of darker, more nefarious deals. So there's so many options that it could be. It's hard to say what it could be. There's the infernal side of things where a devil will make a contract and they'll gift you something, but you're basically losing your soul, which would be certainly warned about at the temples. There's the Fae side of things where they have deals that sometimes have other layers of them within there that you don't fully understand, that might seem innocuous but could be worse. But even then, you've heard of Fae and different layers of how bad it can be depending on what deals and whom you're making them with. So yeah.
Afraid. Did it sound like Rami was distressed or worried when they brought that up?
No.
Because knowing, a little bit about religion, I mean, there's deals all over the place. What does anyone know if Rami prays to a specific deity or?
Just got the image of us huddling in a circle like this, every so often just looking over and seeing if Romi's looking at us.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Romi's got her back turned to you and is crouched down on the ground, and every so often turns around and gives 2 thumbs up and then carries on basically. Oh, totally legit. Don't worry about it. You stay there. I'm taking care of this business.
Sonny would know better than I would. And with that, Braids will start cleaning up the wolf carcasses and moving them away. No point in burying them, but I'm just gonna grab it by the tail, walk over, grab the other one by the tail, and kind of drag them.
I could use the hides.
Drop them.
We could all done with hiding back then.
And I actually, I mean, I have leather working tools and whatnot. So, do you want me to do a that type of check?
Of course.
Or more or okay. So that would be
That's fine. You can use leatherworking or survival if it's better, but either one would
leatherworking.
apply.
So it's proficiency plus my. Which one are we doing as far as abilities? Which one would you want to use
for skinning an animal? I think we'll go with wisdom, because it is tied to that survival aspect of something here.
Okay, so I'm gonna roll straight dice roll +2. So a total of 14.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it'll take you time. So
absolutely.
Looking at it, that is A, it'll take you time, and B, you can skin it, but you don't necessarily yet you'd have to treat it. You'd have to do things to make it survive. So you're welcome to pull it off and clean it up as best you can, but you're still going to have this piece of hide and flesh that without. And I think probably with your leatherworking stuff, you probably have the things that it's just going to be a process. So you wouldn't have it as a coat tomorrow or the next day.
No. No, I just want. I just want to pull out. That way, I'm ready to prepare them and stuff like that, and then we can do away with the carcasses themselves.
Yeah, sure. So. Yeah, I'd say with that, you're able to do it. It is going to take you probably an hour to skin and clean these hides, leaving it so everyone else can take away the dead carcasses.
Okay.
All right. Romy, what are you up to over there with these goblin carcasses?
100% I am looting these bodies looking for a rod.
They were pretty well picked over by, I think, you and your companions as you checked the bodies earlier, but yeah.
I did not check the bodies at all. I don't know that they were checked by the others. I'm thinking these bodies, they've got there's a rod in there. I've just got to find this fucking rod. Here we go. And I feel a sense of really focusing on it. And I feel like Jeannie's helping me out as well. I know what I'm doing here. Cast guidance on myself with that realization.
Then you can make an investigation roll.
Yeah. I've got a help action from this marmot with its hands and its ability to snake into various places. I'm talking about the anus. Here we go. That's a nat 20. Ooh, nice. Plus my D4 on top. Where the hell was that earlier?
That would have been nice earlier, especially for those death saves.
Yeah, 22.
All right. Sadly, they do not have the rod you're looking for upon them. And again, they've been pretty well picked over. You do find one of the goblins had 5 silver tucked into one of his boots.
Useless.
Kind of hidden, but other than that is all you're able to find on them.
Okay, do I feel like someone else in the group has this rod?
No, not to your knowledge. I mean, you haven't seen them with anything like that.
Okay. Yeah, around about the time that so she's gonna then use elementalism to beckon Earth, creating the thinnest shroud of sand that covers over the top of these goblin bodies. Is just covering over the top of it. And I'll look at it and be like, yeah, that's good.
What could go wrong?
That's fine. That'll take me several actions. I imagine it'll take me about 5 minutes. So the length of the conversation, really.
Yeah.
So I'll come back and be like, okay, that's them buried. I think we need to go find the rest of those goblins who took your family, Og, and the wizard. I think we need to go and do that. Okay?
Well,
After skinning, I need a rest. I can't go much longer.
We need to rest, all of us.
middle of the night still, right?
Yeah, it's still late at night. Yeah, as you get back, Romy, Og is like skinning these wolves, setting aside like one skin as he's starting to work on the other one. But yeah, you guys certainly looking at everyone, like Sunny looks fine. Everyone else looks beat. Like braids, though repaired for the most part, still you can see like just isn't moving as fluidly as normal. Og's still kind of bleeding from where he got shot by an arrow earlier in the day. You're still like your wounds are like healed over a little bit, but everything hurts. Yeah.
I think also you would see Og, not only, I mean, bleeding and stuff like that, but you'd see like Og physically tired.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you're certainly pushing the realms of your capabilities here, Og. In fact, can you give me a Constitution saving throw?
Absolutely. An 18.
Okay. Yeah, you feel yourself getting super tired, and you're able to kind of like hold off that like actual exhaustion, but you know that like as soon as you're done with these, you just need to pass out till you get a full sleep. And that's fine, like unless there's anything in particular you guys want to accomplish here. You're able to kind of dispose of these corpses. You've cleaned at least roughly these wolf pelts well enough that you feel they'll last through the night, sort of thing. And you can work on it more like throughout the day, treat it a little bit in the morning or whatever, and you guys are able to pass out. I'm not going to be mean enough to make you roll again on that chart with people at 1 hit points here and there. So if you guys want, you can go ahead and hit that long rest.
Awesome.
The next dawn will kind of greet you guys. I don't think there's any actual tents or anything amongst the party, so you kind of just wake up having slept underneath the night sky. The fire now have kind of burnt down. Of course, Braids, you were generally aware of things, but you're letting your body go through its like self-maintenance, the magic of your infusions doing the job to kind of stitch yourself back together. Most of you, like, you're still tired. Like, yeah, you might be mechanically healed, but this is one of the most intense days of your life that you just went through. And so there's that going forward. Like, you're tired, you're sore, and now you're facing this. We still need to move on, right? You still have to, like, your goals are still out there. Og, for sure, his family's out there, and the rest of you have kind of offered to help him because there's nowhere else to go. So as you wake, what is everyone up to?
Rummy is going to be up before the dawn and will be packed and ready to go. She would have made 2 rations into packed lunches and will be like sitting cross-legged waiting for people to wake up. To just, let's go. She has healed up, but she's got scars now along her cheek from where the scuttler's got her.
I think Og would wake up as soon as he's able to. And finish off the cures for those 2 pelts that at least get them to a certain point that they're able to travel and stuff like that, and they won't deteriorate so much, this, that, and the other. So you may make another leatherworking roll.
Yeah. Let's see.
Which ability you want me to use?
Now you're getting into like I think Artificer land, so we can go ahead and shift to like an intelligence.
Okay.
Unless you have an argument for other ones, but
no. I think so. Yes, I'm going to use leatherworking, which will give me a +2 with the proficiency bonus, and my initiative intelligence, which is also a +2. So here we go.
Okay.
Ooh, not good. 4. Oh wait, not 4. 4 on 6. Yeah.
6. Yeah.
I'm probably still.
Yeah, I mean,
tired.
You're tired. These wolf pelts were pretty badly damaged.
Yeah.
You know, it may have just been better off just to leave them.
Yeah.
At this point, like the cure that you had, like doesn't quite seep into the skin properly, and I think with a 6, the pelts are just ruined. Like there's nothing you can do with them.
Okay. That's fine.
All right. Kind of, you see Og working on these, then eventually just kind of like throws the pelts aside, like probably in disgust. No. Yeah, into the fire. Just no. But yeah, the rest of you, what are we up to? How's our morning going?
I am going to cast a spell.
Okay.
I'm going to cast Goodberry. So just kind of while everybody's hanging out and doing their thing, Braid's like reaches into a bag and pulls out the sprig of mistletoe and the 10 berries pop up, and she's going to walk over to Og and take 3 berries and set them down next to him and walk over to Sunny and put your hand out, Sunny. 3 berries. Walk over to Romy. Romy, put your hand out. 3 berries. And then 1 goes in my bag.
Oh, yeah. So, the ever helpful Goodberry.
So you eat 1?
It tastes good.
You're full. And you heal a hit point. Keep that.
I'm already at max.
Yeah.
I think
don't eat all of them.
The other 2 in my pouch.
Yeah.
Ah, I'm full. I couldn't eat another one if you paid it.
For emergencies.
Oh. Thank you, Braids.
Lasts 1 day. And I'll put 1 in my pouch for me.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. Yeah. So thus kind of established. Braids, can you give me a survival check? Because I think you're kind of the party scout as far as that goes at the moment.
If I can just give him guidance.
Guidance is definitely allowed.
Guidance is D4?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
14 total.
Okay. It takes you probably like 10 or 15 minutes of just kind of like gathering back the surroundings and figuring out like where to look to pick up the path, but eventually you do find the trail continuing off into the desert, heading out.
The fighting and consequent carrying of corpses and looting of bodies made it all very confusing.
Yeah, it took a little bit. I mean, it was still a good roll, so you found it. It just took you a little bit of time to, kind of pick a direction that you think it would have been, and eventually you're like, oh, I see there's like a wagon track there. Then you start seeing, oh, there's a footprint there, and you're like, okay, this had to have been the size of the party that was purported to have left. So it gives you an idea of their general direction, and you're able to direct the rest of them. As the day goes on, is there anything anyone's doing as you're beginning your traveling, taking a long, slow walk on foot as you're heading out?
Yeah. I think with Jeannie on my shoulder, I'm going to feed her some of the rations that I have prepped for everybody else, because they're not going to eat this now. So I'm feeding her a little piece, and I go, "There you go, Jeannie. Enjoy that." And I just hear in my head, "Ooh, thank you. That's lovely." And I go, "Mm-mm." And And I'm gonna slowly turn around and like I'm gonna see like this marmot like nibbling, just staring me cold cocked. What? I'm gonna be like, so you can talk in my head? You could talk in my head as well. You don't have to say it out loud. You'll sound like you're a madman.
From the background, I can't talk in your head. What are you on about?
And then I'll start thinking, and I'll go, and this is hard because she's now thinking, and like that's not a thing she does a lot. So she's like, so, hi. I didn't know that mamas could talk. Well, I can. That's pretty amazing. You're pretty amazing too. That's why I bothered showing up in the first place. Huh. Thank you. I've never been called amazing before. You are pretty special. So your name is Jeannie. You call me Jeannie. My name's Jeannie. Okay. Well, how's the food? You are an incredible chef. I am impressed with your skill set. You're doing this in the desert? Surrounded by these men? It's amazing. Jeannie, you are possibly the most supportive person I've ever met in my entire life. Oh, you are just too kind. And she gives her a little snuggle, and then there's a feeling in the snuggle where it's like almost perfunctory and businesslike almost. You know, like a Hollywood exec saying to a big star, oh, you're the best. I love you, baby. You know, it's like got that kind of vibe going on.
So you hug the marmot like pats you on the head.
Yeah, pretty much. But Romy doesn't really get that vibe. She's like, oh, I have absolute unadulterated support from this creature now. This is amazing.
Yeah.
And be like, Romy's like, so you can talk in my head. Is there anything else you can do? She goes, yeah, check this out. See if you can get a ride off of Og. Next bit, you really aren't going to be able to see so well, but trust me. Okay. Hey, Og.
Yeah.
I'm feeling a little bit tired.
Uh-huh.
Can I get a ride for a second?
Yeah, I mean, it's perfect because I'm almost finished with your harness.
Okay, that's great.
We could try it out if you'd like.
Sounds good. That guy's really useful. What did you say? I said he seems like a good guy. Yeah, that's what I thought you said. Sure. I clamber on top, and then she goes, all right, I want you to close your eyes and think about what I can see.
Did you say that out loud?
No, this is all in the head. All mentally.
Okay.
From pure quiet. Yeah. So Og's not going to go blind running for a start. And she closes her eyes and she can see through Jeannie's eyes, which freaks her out for a second. She's missing. No, relax. It's cool. It's fine. And then Jeannie will jump off the shoulder and I can follow and watch her run like 100 feet ahead. And I can see through her eyes, through the brush as she's running through. And she goes, see, I can talk to you all the way up to here. But I can't see you any further past this. I can be your eyes, I can be your ears. I will keep you safe. You will live, you will survive. You will be able to do the things that you have said you would do. Trust me. What do you mean? Ryan sends his regards. Oh, you're with him? I'm with you. I'm your familiar. It's just I'm familiar with him too. Eyes will open. and I'll watch the Marmot come running back, and we'll jump up, climb up Og's leg, jump up on the shoulder, and I will go very quiet as I look at my familiar, who is staring at me with cold, dead eyes. That slowly become a bit more mercurial.
So you ready to try out the harness?
Yeah, that.
Here.
Yes, please.
So
let me just climb it down a little bit. Go for it.
So, DM, in making this harness and trying it out, would you like me to make a roll?
Oh, of course I do.
Okay. So
Any opportunity for failure is, success is a.
So let me run it by you and see what you think.
Okay.
Leather working tools
Makes
and
sense.
dexterity.
Okay, sure. That makes sense. And what is like the general design of this? Is it like a Baby Bjorn thing that you're gonna have, or
It's kind of, so I've got a backpack. Well, hold on. Do I have a backpack or do I have a sack? I forgot. Inventory. Yeah, I do have a backpack. So it's going to attach to the backpack basically, and it's going to have like easy clips or something like that. Where she can detach herself and free, just in case if I go down or she needs to jump out of where she's at, so on and so forth. But
Okay.
it's gonna set just at that right level where they can ride, and have the top of the backpack as like a table,
Mm-hmm.
and then be able to see over my head and stuff like that.
Okay.
So with the roll, I rolled a 12 on the dexterity plus 2 for your proficiency, so that's a total of 14.
Okay. 14's not bad. What you have set up is a more rudimentary so far of what you're looking to do. Right now, it's mainly like there is a area for Romy to kind of climb into, and spots for her to kind of grab hold of yet. But there's the clasps and stuff like that aren't really there. There's a rough tie that she can use if she wants to tie herself to you, if it's more dangerous, but in general it's more of just I don't know, probably footholds and handholds that she can kind of
for sure
grip onto while you kind of trundle around. You haven't had a lot of time to work on it
definitely not
yet, so it can develop it over time.
Absolutely.
You certainly progressed the making of this.
So what do you think? Do you like it so far? Or I know it's right now it's in its early stages, but
it's lovely.
But it fits right? Or does
it suits my my contours.
Okay. Well, I'll keep working on it. You don't have to ride in it right now. You can sit on top of the backpack and hold on. But I don't want you to fall out of that thing, just in case if I didn't tie something down too well or whatnot. So there's going to be easy clamps that you can pop off and jump out of the thing when I'm done with it and stuff like that. So I'd hate for we're bringing up the spear thing again, but I'd hate to get hit by a spear and then fall backwards and crush you. So that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want you to die again.
He likes you too. Yeah, no, that's fine. I appreciate that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. As you guys move forward, is there any roles or anything that you're generally trying to perform? I know that Braids is probably focusing mainly on keeping track of all these various things, but anything else anyone is doing, any spells or anything like that you're using?
Opposite, I'm actually quite distracted. After casting that scroll last night, I reading Master's book again, and it's making a lot more sense this time. So I'm just in the back, slowly following, going over the book again, his tome again.
All right.
Og would be distracted by his intentions. Something that his mom told him to focus on when he's stressing out, when he doesn't know things, and we just been through a very, very harrowing experience where Og saw literally Rami die, and then, Braids, fall over. I mean, luckily we fixed Braids, but yeah, I mean, and it kind of unnerves Og a little bit, because seeing Rami die, I mean, Rami reminds him of his mother and stuff like that, and it's that what if, scenario going through Og's head, what's happening to his mother in this goblin encampment, what is, especially with the wolves saying they eat meat and they eat people, so on and so forth. Yeah, so that's why Og is distracted right now, working on these little devices and whatnot. So
sounds good. Yeah, so your day progresses. You're making good enough time. Your bellies are full from the good berries, and you're trekking on, following these tracks. As you kind of get a little past midday, Braids and probably Romy, because you're the two that aren't super distracted by other things, will spot kind of off in the distance, off to the east from where you are. You see a horse, just a lone solitary horse, kind of like traveling in the same general direction as you guys. They're a little bit further ahead upon this path, but still would be off the direct trail of these creatures. You see upon the horse there's a slender figure with a dark brown, long, duster coat and a broad brim hat, riding along.
Do we know this person?
At least at the distance, because you're just catching a glimpse of him. It's almost like you see him ride up on top of a ridge, and the sun almost silhouetting him. So it's hard to see too much detail.
Are they headed in the same direction we are?
They seem to be kind of almost paralleling you guys as you're traveling. They were a little bit ahead of you.
Yeah.
Their horse isn't moving at any great pace. It's almost this gentle kind of trot forward, and you guys were probably pushing yourselves pretty decently to try to catch up to this.
Yeah, that's part of the reason why Romy was riding, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Braids will immediately, upon seeing something, point it out. Horse.
What? What do you mean horse?
Person on horse.
Just there.
I look over there with my passive 10 perception.
Yeah, well, I mean, luckily it being pointed out, and it's at this moment where you guys were in a slight depression, and he's up on some slight ridge that the sun.
It was a bit of a major depression. One of us died yesterday. Okay, we're still getting over some stuff.
You're gonna have to seek counseling.
Jesus, too soon, man. For a little depression.
I was unconscious at the time. I don't know what happened.
I got badass though.
He erased those memories from his databank.
But yeah, so we're down low and he's up high.
Yeah, so I mean, you're able to spot where he is, especially him being pointed out by the other two.
Are they?
Shoot.
Yeah. What do we want to do?
I mean, come. The more people around, the safer we'll be at night.
I mean, so far everything we run into has attacked us and tried to kill us, or has killed us. No offense, Rami.
No, it's fine. It happened. It's a good joke. We all laugh.
Really wasn't a joke, but okay. Who wants to make first contact?
I'm already 5 foot ahead, and I start shouting, "Hello, are you friendly?"
Sonny, quick question. What if they're not?
I don't know what to say now.
Yeah. This maybe we don't yell at people.
Pull out my notepad again. Don't yell. Okay, it goes back in the pocket.
You see this figure, and you can kind of tell that the head shifts in the direction of you guys, and then you see the horse kind of start to veer, kind of like off his given path, and start kind of turning slowly, heading in like almost like a interception, like vector to meet you guys at a point further ahead.
Well,
they're
coming.
It's happening.
His horse is riding a little bit faster.
Braids will move to be in the, like, not the front of the group, but like towards where they're coming from. I want to be in between me and, the people that are smaller than me.
And you'll see this
clamber down from the back and push myself off from Og and go, I'll be behind you guys.
Okay.
That's okay.
I mean, long as we have range, I can hit them with fire.
I think I can do something too.
We'll figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure he's friendly, guys.
But let's cross our fingers and cross our toes.
Under the breath. Please be friendly. Please be friendly.
And as this figure rides forward, you can start to gather a little bit more details. You see that, like, riding this like chestnut horse, there's this slender figure. Again, he's got this like dark brown duster, dark brown broad brim hat. You see a paler skin, elvish features underneath. You spot that there is like a pistol strapped to his like waistband. And as he gets closer, you see this like silver triangular symbol upon like his breast, and it's worked in top of it. There's like the symbol of like almost like a crumbled or ruined like castle. And you would recognize that this is a symbol of write that down. They are the Remnant Rangers. So the Remnant, you guys would all know, having lived in this area, is there were like 3 kingdoms that kind of emerged from the destruction of an old empire, or an old larger kingdom. Pretty much 3 city-states that kind of rule over the Badlands. They've joined in this like loose alliance where they work to maintain the roads, the rail network, and they hire these rangers, kind of like marshals in the American West sort of thing, where they would roam and cover large areas of land. And so he kind of rides forward and takes a look at the 4 of you, and the marmot, and his like hand would have gone to his pistol for a second, and he kind of eases back as he kind of takes you guys in. Greetings. What brings the group of you out here?
Goblins.
Yes, the goblins there. Saw them making their way through. They're not much farther ahead. A couple more ridges and you'll see their party moving.
They took my family.
All right. Well, that is certainly business. Figured they're up to no good, but one of me, So I got your family. Now, what happened is, how did they get them?
They attacked our village.
Our village is no more.
Your village? What village?
I look around and I realise that it was just called village. Master never told me the name.
The Guajun.
Oh my, Guazon.
Notepad comes back out.
That
Correct
That
the
would-
spelling.
been the smoke I saw the other day, then, huh?
That was probably it.
Yeah.
What a shame. I
Yeah.
haven't been in there in ages, but this is a quaint little mining village. Some not good people there. Sorry to hear about it. How many villages you reckon might be out there?
We don't know.
What? By the goblins. And I painfully start recounting all the dead bodies I got down from the tree, and then trying to remember how many were in town. And 10, maybe uncounted for, maybe more. Some of the bodies looks down. I didn't know who they were.
All right. Well, I'm not sure what we're gonna do about that all, but they're up ahead, probably half a day's walk or so ahead of you guys. They move pretty quick. They're pushing hard to get back. I think they're heading towards. There's a plateau out there. They operate out of the. Call themselves the Scorching Suns, group of mercenary, I guess, goblins. They raid small villages, usually nothing major. I've never heard of them hitting a town before.
I pull out the hobgoblin's long gun that I got from the village and show him.
Yeah, he will dismount, letting his horse kind of walk around, goes over to a patch of dry grass and starts munching on it while he kind of takes a look at it. Yeah, that would be them. That would be the group. Yeah, this is a plateau not too far away.
So
they've kind of made their base.
do they travel during the daytime or night?
Oh, I mean, they prefer night, but I assume if they're on a direct course or a mission they're trying to push hard, they've so far been traveling most of the day into the night. They're probably tired, they've been pushing hard, but still numbers would make it an inequitable situation for us to engage them.
We've been told there's 30 of them.
Well, it looks like that would mean we're outnumbered.
Plus
if I
the
joined
wolves.
you. Plus wolves. Trained wolves are nothing to scoff at.
Oh, we know.
I mean, even if I joined you all, that'd still have us outnumbered at least 6 or more to 1.
Can you go get help? You have a horse.
I mean, I could try. If they're going to a plateau, I'm not sure that I'll make it anywhere in time to gather up support. The nearest major garrison is at least a day's hard ride to the west.
Oh,
What do you
it's your
suggest?
family like you. Strong. Would they be able to help fight back? To get out? Maybe the rest of the villagers, if it's alive.
We don't know what condition they're in, though.
Hopefully alive.
Yes,
They're
but
alive.
alive and able to fight are two different things, right?
They've been forced to march solid for 2-3 days. They might be so tired they won't be able to run anyway, let alone fight.
Okay.
What do you suggest we do, Ranger?
Yeah, I'm MDing, by the way. You don't gotta call me Ranger, that seems so, formal. Anyways, my only thought was, at least when I was by myself, I was going to trail them. See, they usually, if they do take captives, they don't have use for them themselves. They sell them off. There's various mining organizations and such.
The wolves said that they use them for food sometimes.
Oh. Bodes ill. But yeah, I was hoping to follow them, maybe see who they sold them to, and trail the purchasers until I could find their location and summon a posse, maybe gather up some citizens and call for more rangers, just maybe help. But
That's a very long plan, and they may not be alive that long. I think we need to do something about these scorching suns themselves.
What if we distracted them while you got help? You kept them from entering the plateau.
You can make us deputies?
I mean, I suppose. All that really does is protect you from any legal action taken by the other parties, and I'm gonna venture to say I doubt these goblins are gonna take you to the courts.
Yeah.
But if you want a little gold starterware or something, I can deputize y'all for the meantime.
That would be kind of neat.
I'm fine, thank you. I don't really need to belong to anyone else.
Fully up for a gold starter, realise a hole in my pie, thinks it's a bad idea, and I'm like, no.
Who wants a gold star? Not me. That's rubbish. Lame.
Notepad comes back out, writes about gold stars.
We were just going to follow them to find out where they were going and see if there would be an opportunity for us to actually save everyone. If they're going to a plateau, and there are that many of them, what hope do we have?
Well, that's exactly why I was kind of on the let's see who they sell these guys to. Mercenaries, though cruel, and if something happens to them, I'm sure they'll feed whoever passes in the traveling to the wolves. In general, they're in it for the money, and the supplies or whatever else. These creatures are raiders and thieves more than any nefarious mastermind. They'll look to offload these guys as quickly as possible. If you had enough coin, you could probably buy them.
I was going to say, how much do they go for?
Oh, I mean, depends on the quality of the captured individuals. They have skill sets that usually runs them up a little bit, but usually from a group like this, they run between 20 and 100 gold a head, depending on the quality. If they're a skilled artisan or something that can do something of value,
like a blacksmith.
Oh, blacksmiths are highly sought after out here. Yes, usually there's many companies and mining groups that would happily hire a blacksmith of skill from a goblin group like this.
You mean buy?
Well, yes, buy. And while the remnant does not officially allow such barbaric actions as slavery, there's many things out here that even us rangers aren't able to enforce properly.
It would appear that you're not able to enforce a lot of things.
Well, you see, there's one of me, and I have about 100-mile area that I'm supposed to be covering, 100 square mile area, and that's on the easy paths. So yeah, there's not a lot.
Right away. The garrison is based right away.
Yep.
You can leave now and be back within 2 days.
And I'll do that. If you guys are gonna keep trailing them, at least I'll know that someone can track them. And then, we can ride. I'll ride hard for a day and gather as many as I can and be back hopefully within another day. But still 2 days you guys have to follow this group.
We can do that.
I don't have any choice.
There's always a choice. It's not always a good one, but there's always a choice.
Is there any way we can get out ahead of them? Do you know if we can get out in front of them?
You'd have to probably push very hard. But you could do it, I suppose. You could run out, skirt the edges, but they do have scouts. They usually leave, small groups of goblins and wolves out to keep track and keep an eye out. Make sure people like me aren't getting too close.
What happens if one of those packs doesn't come back?
Depends on their overall mood. I think if they're moving on now, they probably would just push harder, move faster, knowing that someone's after them.
So say if we killed a group of people like that yesterday.
Well, that would explain their early rise and quick movements this morning. Gotta say, to get between here and that plateau, which is about a direct pathway in that direction, kind of pointing northeast.
Do they have to move through a pass or anything? A valley?
I mean, there's a couple of valleys they might use here and there.
So nothing they're nowhere we know they would go.
I mean, I think if you drew a line from here to there, they're gonna go as straight as they can go. Again, they're only about a day or so from there. That's what I'm worried about. If I ride hard and get back, I'm still a day behind them getting there.
Yeah, but once they're there, they're not going anywhere else.
There's that. So I can ride. I'll gather as many of the garrison as I can get. Come back. Good 30, 40 of us. We should probably be able to assault them and take them out.
That seems like best option.
All right.
Before you leave, becoming a deputy.
Oh yeah, 1 second. And, reaches in to his belt pouch. And he pulls out a bronze triangular thing that's similar to his silver one that he wears. And he looks at it and goes, "I hereby deputize you," and flicks it in the air over to you. And it just kind of flips in and over at you.
I push Sonny forward and go, "This one as well."
All right. Well, reaches in, pulls out a little star. Deputize you too, then. And flicks one over at you.
I drop it on the floor and pick it back up.
All right. Now you two got to swear to uphold the laws, not to break any of them, or misuse their symbol of your authority.
I agree. And then I take a real good look at his star and compare it to mine. And then I'll try and use prestidigitation to change it. Part of prestidigitation, which is minor creation. You can create a non-magical trinket or any illogical image that can fit in your hand. It lasts until the spell, the end of your next turn. The trinket can deal no damage, yada yada yada. Yeah. But so if I just cast that,
yeah, you could momentarily keep it looking like this.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that deputization will end when we're done with this whole little thing. I'm gonna go hard. I'm gonna try to get there. Try not to do anything stupid.
Thank you, Andy.
Here.
I
walk up to him and hand him my last good berry. There. Now you don't have to stop to eat.
Well, thank you.
I take one of my good berries and give it to him and say, "This is for your horse."
All right. I'm sure she appreciates that. And he'll kind of take the berry and offer it to his horse. Then he'll grab hold of the saddle and kind of quickly flick himself into the saddle and looks back at y'all and nods, kind of tips his hat, and then starts galloping away.
Well, you seem like a very nice young man.
I'm a deputy now.
Yes, you are. We're all very proud of you.
You
He
see
wasn't
Og's
outside.
biggest grin ever.
Very conflicted in the middle, wearing the deputy badge and seeing how happy you are, but realizing the two people I'm closest to denied wanting them. So I'm like,
It's a good
Just
tip
don't
for
know.
you, Sonny. It makes sense.
We gonna go?
okay, we can't lose the trail now, can we?
Absolutely not. I reach over and grab Rami and throw Rami on my back and just start head off. Then have to slow down for the group to catch up and then keep going.
Yeah, you guys push on as hard as you can. And as the day starts to draw to a close, you can kind of see out in the distance this like kind of trail of dust coming up here and there from the traveling of a large group through this desert lands.
Do they look like they're stopping for the night, or do they look like they're keeping going?
At the moment, it looks like they're keeping going, and you can see a little bit further on, probably a few more hours walk from where this group ahead is, this like large plateau out in the distance.
They're gonna go there tonight.
Yeah. So we're going to go there tonight.
Maybe not all the way there.
We need to
If we're
climb
still heading towards the plateau during the daytime, they will see us coming from a very long, far distance.
Yes, but that doesn't mean we should go all the way in. Right?
Okay.
Are we going to let them go to the plateau?
How do you intend to stop them?
No, I was not going to stop them. I was thinking we could either sneak in real quick, grab some people, and run. But, I mean, if we're going to just let them go to the plateau, I have ways that we can climb the plateau. That's not the direct path.
I feel. Didn't we just say the plan was for us to follow them and then let the ranger come back with people?
Yep.
Yep. But I don't know if it's useful, but I was reading through my master's tome, and I think I found something that I might be able to cast to help us out. And then I opened the page to disguise self, and I'm like, I could potentially turn myself into a goblin, or one of you guys into a goblin.
I would be too big as a goblin. Hobgoblin,
And I go
know
back
it's
to
a
the
different
book,
story.
and I start reading it again.
I'm the right size.
Oh, Doc 2 could be goblins, and me and Braids could be hobgoblins. Or I could be something bigger than that.
I know I said I could cast it, but I don't think I've got the energy to cast it more than twice.
Oh, okay. Well, that's all right. Maybe.
I didn't know we could
Wait.
get closer to the camp if needed to see if they're alive.
If you can create an illusion of you as a goblin and me as a goblin, could we not take Braids and Og in as prisoners?
I could make us look like goblins, but I
think that's
can't
a perfect
understand
plan.
goblins.
There is no part of things that would go wrong at all.
there are a lot of part of me that thinks that would go wrong.
I'm not. Yeah.
I don't know how.
What? All four of us in the
Feels
center of
wrong.
their camp?
So to take us prisoner, you'd have to take away all of our weapons.
Sure.
And you and Sunny don't use weapons.
Sure. Go on.
So we'd have no weapons.
Okay.
How long does your illusion last?
I go open the book again, and from my estimations, I think I could hold the magic for about an hour each. So.
An hour is not very long.
I am just learning.
No, you're good. It's not.
I can't do much without my tools.
I hear that's the line of a bad carpenter.
No. Okay, then you're right, Braids. It's not
Caveman carpentry.
there are better plans out. Let us follow them, as was the plan. And if there's an opportunity, let's take advantage of it. But let's otherwise stay focused on the plan.
The other idea would be if you wanted to just have one or two of you go in to use the spell, then we still have people who are outside in case you get captured.
Yeah.
Not,
We
yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe we should stick to the plan for now, and I was wrong to mention it. I just got overzealous with me casting a spell last night. An actual spell.
Big spell.
It was a good spell.
It was a
Thank you.
great spell. It was a great spell. You did a good job. All right. Well, then tonight when we rest, we should probably not have a fire.
Definitely not.
Or at least, out of the view of the surroundings, like a fire pit in the ground, or if there's
Well, I can dig
rocks
one. I can make
and
something.
digging. Shall we, if we think they're going to the plateau over there, shall we find a place where we have a good vantage point of their comings and goings? And
You want to go to hike?
Braids, I look to you. Do you have any suggestions as I cast guidance on you?
I don't really need the guidance. We'll take the 26.
Yeah, but you could potentially get
Okay.
30. That's fine.
Yeah, I can't potentially roll any better than a nat 20. Bill, you're muted.
Give me a head.
Lovely.
Take
Lovely.
back my.
I know, right? It's just a D4 yet. Yeah, so you're looking for a safe place to camp
And watch the plateau, kind of spot maybe a smaller one that's a little ways out and see a good vantage spot kind of thing.
yeah. You kind of see there's a cluster of rocks off a little ways that's got a decent size, probably was once a hill that's eroded down to just the hard rocks there, but a pretty tall one, and then several other ones that with cracks and areas in between that you think you could kind of either hide behind during the night or shift inside. And as you kind of get closer, you see that like it is kind of arranged that it looks like it was once maybe a bigger plateau or a bigger hill that is kind of eroded down, and now there is like a series of rocks you can kind of climb up, and inside there's almost like this little alcove that's been like carved out over time through various elements or whatever that is tucked back, facing generally away from the main plateau, but then there's like little rock outcroppings that you can kind of climb up towards like the top of this little rock and be able to see and keep an eye out if you need to of the plateau itself and everything else that is there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ideal.
I point that place out.
Yep. Yeah, when you get a nat 20, you find a perfect spot. It's gonna be there.
It's a good time to roll good.
Yeah. So you find this location, lead the rest of the party there. You're able to kind of like take paths that tend to be on like the lower side of things. So like there's always like large amounts of brush or rock outcroppings, or like you find like a divot in the earth, like a little like once dried stream bed that you can kind of follow for a while. Make your way over to this and set yourselves up for the evening, situated in this outcropping. Is there anything you're planning on doing for the evening? Any other work? I mean, you guys are full from the Goodberry in the morning. Traveled hard.
Just fully collapsing on the floor and trying not to think about how my butt feels. I've not been saddle sore before.
It gets cold, right?
It can. You guys are generally in like the more summery months of the year, I think, at this point. So it's fairly comfortable at night, probably more comfortable than it is during the day.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we don't necessarily need a fire.
No. If you don't need one unless you want one, sort of thing. Like most often when you stop in camp, you want a fire for the comfort and for the ability to cook food and heat water. But as probably pointed out, that being so close to this, having a fire that they don't expect is probably not the best move.
On top of that, we got good berries. So.
Yeah.
So,
you guys are pretty well set.
I will cast Speak with Animals, and I will say to this area and go, if there are any creatures here, we are staying here tonight. We will leave tomorrow. If you leave us alone, we will leave you alone. Please respect our personal space.
Okay. You don't hear any responses, but that perhaps helps. So during the night, you guys keep watch. You see this group make their way to this plateau and start filing in. There seems to be like a series of animal pens and stuff that have been like crudely set up near the plateau that they've lead like any of the oxen, anything like that there. And you can see that there's like a cave at the base of this plateau, and there are a couple of heavily armed like hobgoblins that are down there, kind of like at the entrance to the gate of this, or not gate, but the cave entrance, standing guard. And there's a couple of wolves with them. And the main body of this group kind of goes into the cave itself, leading a group of prisoners. You see there's about 12 prisoners that you see they kind of lead into this cave structure. And you see the wolves kind of get let out a little bit. They kind of go to there's a section near the plateau itself that seems to have been like kind of their spot where they gather together. There's like kind of outcroppings of rocks that have kind of like grown over. So there's almost like a little shallow den that the wolves kind of nestle into. And you see that there's a bugbear comes out and like tosses some meat out on the ground. You hear like the wolves kind of yipping to each other as they gather it up. But yeah, if there's nothing you're looking to do during the night, any spells you're casting before you take a long rest or anything like that. All right.
No.
So
I'll test disguise self and
okay.
Turn myself into a goblin. I'll just like stand there in front of everybody for a second and like,
Pretty good. Pretty good.
I almost killed you.
That's
It's all right. I know who you are.
Okay.
I drop disguise self.
So,
Yep.
during the night, you guys are able to rest, relax, kind of unwind from the long trip. This tension and worry of what's to come still holding there. Braid's probably being the one to keep a lookout. It's been watches, and as the kind of early hours of the morning begin, as the sun is just starting to cast its light on the horizon, you see in the distance, coming in, a large, like dirigible with these massive propellers turning as it heads towards this plateau.
I wake everybody up.
And with that, we're going to call it for the day. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. We'll be back. Next game should be on the 17th, so 2 weeks from today. So if you are enjoying this, and I hope you are, please join us there live. I do appreciate those who are in chat talking to us live. We do try to kind of loosely monitor as best we can without impacting the game itself. We do have past games will be on YouTube, so if you like this, you tell any of your friends who might be interested in such a thing, and tell them that we're there. They can catch up really quick. This is a new session. We completed my last campaign over a 2-year period, so join us for the ride and let's see where we go. Dave, are we playing this Wednesday?
We are playing this Wednesday. Astroplex, the Spire and the Sprawl, Bill and my new game system / setting. They just completed a major mission and are about to tackle their second half of that mission. So tune in and find out. That will be at nighttime, 5 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern, and I have no idea what it is for the rest of the world, which I am very, very sorry about.
It's like 11 o'clock in the morning.
Now, tell me what
sorry.
Night, yeah, middle of the night at some point for you guys, yeah.
And I think it's like 4 a.m. in Australia, because we do have a player that, not 4 a.m. No, it's actually a decent time. It's like 8, 9, 10 o'clock for them. So the next day. So.
Yep. Also, we got a streamer amongst us, so Go Crunch, when are we doing
I stream every day, anywhere from usually about 3 o'clock in the afternoon to about 10 or 11 o'clock at night over on twitch.tv/crunchx. Right now we're in the middle of a Mafia 3 playthrough. And
nice.
You'll also catch me doing a bunch of Overwatch and Marvel Rivals lately. So,
Well, so in a couple of hours, go check that out on Twitch.
Except on Mondays when we start much later.
Well, whatever. Go follow him. You'll get the notification.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So with that, guys, we're gonna go to our outro, which if you joined us live last time wasn't up, but we do have the intros and outros up. So we're going to go to the outro, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Peace out, people.
Bye.
Everybody say
Wiedersehen.
bye.